In 2002, as part of the No Child Left Behind Act, Congress established the Reading First program to help young children become better readers. Under the Reading First program, the federal government provides grants to states to help them improve reading instructions. States may use this funding for a variety of purposes, including the purchase of core reading curricula, programs to assess students' progress toward reading proficiency, and the intervention programs to help students who are falling behind in reading. In September 2006, the Education Department's Inspector General issued the first 6 reports on the implementation of the Reading First program. I am pleased that the Inspector General is joining us today to discuss some of his findings. It is critically important that the committee have this opportunity to hear directly from the Inspector General about them. The Inspector General found a number of ways in which the Department of Education failed to act in the best interest of the taxpayers, the states, the schools, and school children. The Inspector General's first report showed that in a number of cases, the Education Department officials and contractors with deep financial and personal connections to specific reading products inappropriately promoted those products over others. Rather than provide an even playing field in which high-quality programs can compete based upon the just merits for business with the states, these officials and contractors created an uneven playing field that favored certain products. Indeed, we know of examples where states were essentially bullied to use those products in order to receive Reading First money. This uneven playing field was obviously unfair to the companies and the publishers that developed products that were out of favor with the Department of Education, but it was also unfair and costly to the states and school districts that were denied the opportunity to use their first choice reading curricula and assessments. Today we're going to hear from the former Reading First Director, Chris Doherty, who figured prominently in the Inspector General's first report. We're also going to hear from reading experts who served on the assessments committee that was set up to offer advice about which reading assessments the states could use under the law. We're going to learn about those experts' bias for specific reading assessment products and evaluate whether they were capable of being independent brokers in deciding which programs should receive funding under Reading First. The purpose of this hearing is not to evaluate the effectiveness or strengths or weaknesses of the Reading First program. I support Reading First program, as do many of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle. As the committee works to reauthorize No Child Left Behind, we will evaluate the programs to see what we can do to improve it. But there is no question that this mismanagement and these conflicts of interest undermine the program and the public's confidence in it. In reauthorization, this committee will act on legislation to explicitly prohibit these kinds of conflicts. When states and school districts and schools are bullied into using reading programs and assessments that were not their first choice or a proven track record, then it meant that the officials in Washington, D.C. were overriding the informed decisions of local educators about what is best for their own students. Too many times in the Bush administration, we have seen examples of officials abusing the public trust and misusing tax dollars. And we've seen way too many examples of cronyism and conflicts of interest that have undermined the government's effectiveness, from the multi-billion-dollar contracts at Halliburton in Iraq to the wasteful spending and gross mismanagement in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. This administration has simply failed to be accountable to the taxpayers and the public. Now it appears that we can add Reading First, on which we've spent roughly $6 billion since 2002, to a long and growing list of instances where the administration operating outside of the law, unaccountable to Congress and the American people.